The aquaculture business is thriving in Kenya and offering investment opportunities to fish farmers and those in the fish supply chain. More and more Kenyan homes across the country are embracing fish as a delicious delicacy to combine with their staple ugali, chapati, and rice, among others. The fish waste, however, pose a serious challenge to our health, our soils, our waters, our environments, among others. If the fish waste leak into our water, the live fish will suffocate, which will in turn cause thousands of Kenyan fish farmers to lose profits. Implementing good waste management practices is therefore crucial. It not only helps to protect the environment, but is beneficial to the fish business. We traveled to Wathorego in Kisumu County to meet an innovative green agripreneur who's changing the fish industry one fish skin at a time. 40-year-old Newton Owino separates fish skins from the rest of the waste and turns them to make leather used to manufacture handbags, wallets, shoes, hats, and jackets.
I started my business way back, mid-90s, but this was as a pilot. Now, I've been moving around trying to identify the opportunities. Now I realized Kisumu has a potential in development of cottage industries. One of the industries that I was really focusing on was the leather sector, being my line of profession. I came to Kisumu and realized that we have a number of filleting industries that are doing filleting of fish. These factories, they are producing close to 150,000 metric tons of fish waste. Almost 70% of the waste are actually fish skin. I saw this opportunity and realized that this is something that could be converted into a sellable product. Now, this waste initially were actually causing a lot of environmental concern. They were actually polluting the environment. The best sustainable way was actually converting this into leather. When we are converting this into leather, we must really do it in a more eco-environmentally friendly manner. So that's why we decided to adopt what we call the eco-tanning kind of operation. This was clean technology based on green chemistry, using of biocompounds to convert the fish skin into leather without causing the environmental pollution. So we decided to adopt a system whereby we protect the so-called the 4Hs, the human health, animal health, environmental health, and plant health. This was through the identification of the use of plants compounds that are available here in Kisumu, and this will make it more sustainable. If at all we don't also give the leather users an alternative leather to this reptile skin, then we're also going to get rid of these reptiles. So that's why I decided that, since crocodile lives in water, fish also lives in water, so there could be some kind of similarity in terms of skin composition. That's why I thought that instead of killing these reptiles to get the skin, we could easily get the fish, which is not really endangered. Those are a few reasons why I decided to get into this.
During his academic life, Newton's focus was the leather industry. In his career, he has also worked at various international research institutions before finally settling for the leather business.
As a researcher also. Now, coupled with my own knowledge and experience that I acquired from these institutions, I realized that I was good enough to go my own way to start a meaningful business. I did not just want to start a business, but I wanted to start what we call a social enterprise that touches each and every common person within Kisumu and its environs. That's why when I came across the fish skin, I was so lucky that now this is the way to go. Remember, Kisumu is now gearing to host a cargo flight. We are also trying to think that, apart from just the fish that this flight will be coming to carry, we also need to come up with another product, a sustainable product. And this can only be the fish skin. So if you really work very well and, together with partnership, so that we turn the fish leather, the fish skin that is produced in Kisumu is enough to sustain 17 big tanneries. And this will create thousands and thousands of jobs. Remember, the skin with this value chain, right from the fishing activity, the filleting, the tanning part of it, and then post-tanning operations like making of these leather goods. It is a whole chain of jobs. So in Kisumu, we are lucky that we have enough resources. We only need to tap it very well. So with our knowledge, it is important that we put it into practice so that our women here can get something to cling on. Our youths here can get something to cling on.
Believe it or not, Newton began this booming business in the mid-90s with only 200 Kenyan shillings. The money was not even to cater for the raw materials, but for the ride home from the filleting industries. This is why Newton believes one does not need to start any type of business with big bucks.
When you talk of capital, it means you really do not understand your business very well. It all comes back to what we call business identification. If you don't really do it very well, then you'll not go very far. You'll require huge capital, and remember, the moment you start with huge capital, you'll only be burning it. Once you get to understand your business, make sure that in most cases, you start with a business that does not require huge capital investment. You go into a business that basically utilizes waste. When you utilize waste to generate your income, then you will not really go wrong.
The first process for Newton is acquiring the raw materials, which are the fish skins. The fish skins are acquired from filleting industries who give Newton these skins as they have nowhere to dispose. The fish skins are first scaled by groups of women in various parts of the country and delivered here in Newton's tannery.
Scaling basically means removal of scales, but we cannot do the tanning with these scales. The skin of fish, we have three main layers. We have the outer layer, we call the epidermis. We have the middle layer, we call it the corium. Then we have the very inner layer that contains the proteinous material, we call it the glands, sebaceous glands. Now, the outer part contains the scales. We have to loosen these scales first using ash solution so that they fall off. Then we remain with the corium, which is actually the target part in tanning. That is actually what we call the leather. That's what finally will become leather.
The second process is the skinning process. After the scales have been removed, Steve turns the fish skin to display the inner fish skin layer. This layer usually has a lot of fat, which needs to be skinned so that the tanning ingredients can penetrate through to the skin.
Before we heat it through tanning processes, we also have to remove what we call the collagen part of the inner layer. Right? Now this collagen, we steam it in hot water, and then that's what forms the gum or the shoe cement that we use in stitching our shoes. Right? Then finally we remain with the middle layer that we call the corium. This corium is the one now we subject to the tanning processes.
After the skinning, the fish skin is washed again and then fit parts cut off. This is important because it will ensure that the fish skins absorb the tanning agent and that they are to the right shape.
Each and every skin has fibers. So when you are tanning, the one reason for tanning is actually to strengthen the fibers of every skin. Right? Now, this is where now we have to use the plant's compounds, like the banana extracts, like the papain, so that we preserve it permanently. Now, after all these operations, then the end results, we call it wet white.
After the fish skins are thoroughly washed, they are placed in these buckets, also known as the tanning buckets. Each of these buckets has a natural tanning agent. Being a farm go green agripreneur means Newton and his team do not use any chemicals here. They simply use the available materials such as the papain extract from the pawpaw tree.
The papain that you extract from papai is such a good preservative, is such a good bedding material that suppresses the bacterial development in leather. So now that it is here in plenty, we even train farmers on how to trap it. Then they sell it to us. So this is one of the materials that we use to preserve our fish skin. Well, we also use citric acid. This one comes from citrus fruits. The citric acid, we use it during the process we call the pickling. Pickling simply means lowering the pH of leather so that it can accept the tanning material. Lowering the pH means you are making it a bit acidic, like 2.5, somewhere there, so that it can now accept the tanning agent. Now, after that, we now subject it to tanning, right? Whereby the tanning again, you use the banana extracts. We don't use the chromium oxide because it's toxic, it's lethal, it kills, it's carcinogenic.
After the 24 to 72 hours is up, Newton and his team take the tanned skin and put it in this large drum. The drum is filled with water and the fish skins and turned numerous times. This is to soften the fish leather for shaping because it is really hard at this point.
After the tanning, we bring back the oil, but now this is avocado oil, just to make the skin soft, right, and workable. So those are the natural materials that we have. You can see there are many, and they are all from around.
After the skins have gone through this process, it is now time to dry the skins. Some tanners prefer to dry the skins in a line outside where there is direct sunlight. But in this tannery, things are different. Newton and his team pin the skins on these tables and put over a white sheet for moisture control.
We are going to toggle. So toggling just means pinning of the skins, and we pin them in layers. Pin them in layers so that it can allow easy edging. Edging, what I mean by edging is like you pile the skins on top of each other to allow easy penetration. The dyes that I was never penetrated, so when you pile them on top of each other and as they dry, that's what we call edging. So we toggle by stretching. We stretch them a little bit so that they can meet their maximum length.
What we need to do is just to give it very nice color, because some people don't like it when it is in its natural color. Now, the color again is another source of death. The dyes that we use are heavily toxic. They are heavily poisonous. So we came up with our natural dyes. We extract plants' pigments. Here we have a number of plants. We have hibiscus, we have rosemaries, we have so many plants with very heavily concentrated pigments. So we do what we call water extraction of these pigments. And that's what we use to fix our dyes. So it can be red, it can be pink, it can be green, whichever color that we need. But all these are plant pigments.